Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Losers Lounge podcast. Whew, it's been about a month and a half, almost 2 months. The last time we did a podcast was for Money in the Bank weekend, back at the start of July, which, by the way, was a very successful time. We did not do a podcast for SummerSlam due to the fact that I was out of commission in Cleveland, Ohio for the week's festivities. But now I'm back full time here. And it's time to talk the first of 4 podcasts we're doing over the course of the next 2 weeks. Oh my god. Because this event is the second annual AEW All-In London at Wembley Stadium. This is the first of 4 because there are 3 other events we're talking about later next week. There'll be a double podcast, 2 podcasts for Bash in Berlin from the WWE and NXT No Mercy. And then the following week, we're going to end the summer festivities with AEW All Out. So there we go on that. But first off, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back fellow loser, the guy who's been here basically since the beginning. None other than Heel Balor.
Hello everybody, the Heelest of Balor's is back. AEW All in London 2. Wembley Stadium. I'm looking forward to it. Just for 2 matches specific, we're going to be talking about on this card. Feels great to be back. What, been 2 months since we've last been seen? I feel great. I'm ready to talk about it.
All right. And of course, we can't be all in without some guests who are also all in with us as well. And so that's exactly what we're going to do here. First off, please welcome back, this guy was recently on our podcast, our good pal, Tyler.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing very well. I'm doing pretty well myself, but yeah, I've just been busy doing my usual content creation, e-fed thing. You know how it goes, folks. But yeah, I've been very intrigued about All In as we've been getting to it, and now that we're almost here, oh boy, there's a lot of things I'm gonna say, and I beg you, there's gonna be some things that'll make people go, bloody hell. So, there we are.
Was that trying to make a... Okay, yeah, I get it. Trying to make a British reference. For the record, Tyler's Australian. He's not British.
Yeah, I'm Aussie, not British.
Yeah.
Even if my accent does sound a bit different.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Exactly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome another good friend of ours. He is known as Dustin.
Hello, everybody. I am super excited for All In. There's a few matches on this card that I'm very intrigued with. It's great to be back on the Losers Lounge. Thank you for having me back, Christian. Let's get to it.
Absolutely. And finally, Optimistic Hall of Famer, Steep.
Hello, what's up? It's an honor to be back once again, especially talk about All In. I had a great time with All In last year. The show last year really did exceed my expectations. I'm kind of going in with the same mindset I did this year, just so I can have a similar reaction at the end of the show. But yeah, I always look forward to shows like this, especially a daytime stadium show. And we can't get to that without doing the prediction. So yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, it's like last year, of course, AEW All In was announced for London at Wembley Stadium, and when it was, from 2023 at the time, we got to remember that was quite the historical thing. They sold about close to 80,000 tickets for a non-WWE company. That was literally unreachable. That at the time, that was unreachable. It was at the end of All In London where they announced they'd be returning for this year. And now, of course, we're here again. But this time, things are a little different. Of course, stage is a little different as well. If you look at the stage chart, they got something else set up. They're basically, this is kind of the weirdest thing I never thought I would ever say, but they are borrowing from Taylor Swift. Yeah, they're basically borrowing the stage that Taylor Swift used for her series of concerts at Wembley Stadium a few days ago.
That's an interesting way to do things.
Well, unfortunately,
it's probably cheap as chips.
those stages are massive, and it takes a long time to set them up. If you recall, for WrestleMania, it takes like a couple of weeks to take them up, or take them down.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yep. That's why I'm like, hire more people to quickly get the job done.
Yeah. Hey, cheap as chips. already used stage means that they don't have to spend as much money on the stage, so that at least does help a little, but
Well,
not
perhaps.
by much.
Well, perhaps, but it's still at the same time, there's still, of course, the cost of structure and rent and that sort of shit. But anyway, not really our problem though. We're just the guys who are here to enjoy what's going to be on the show. So there's going to be about 50,000 people there. It's like a 30,000 amount of people drop from last year. But let's be honest, last year they only had a small entryway to allow more people to sit in the stadium. This time it's different because there's a big stage that's blocking a lot of ways. So it is what it is, folks. We aren't the guys who aren't going to just start pestering about attendance sales and everything. And if we are bringing up attendance sales, we're actually being nice about it because, let's be honest, there's something for everybody. And the fact that we're able to have 2 massive stadium shows this year with SummerSlam at the start of August and now All in London at the end of August, everybody is cooking. And that's what matters the most. We are in for a hell of a time. We have 9 matches that we are going to discuss, and this time it's 1 non-title match and 8 title matches. If only the Continental Championship was on the line, then we would have a full-on night of champions for AEW. But I guess in a way you could call it that because Kazuchika Okada and his Continental Championship is the only title that's not on the line this Sunday. Because he defended it last night on AEW Dynamite against Claudio Castagnoli. And at that moment, I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Why didn't you put that match on the All-In card? That is honestly a big-time stadium-worthy match. And I get it. Like, you want to ensure that people in Cardiff, Wales are going to get some great matches as well. I get that. We could have honestly just given them the Chris Jericho versus Hook match and then replaced that with this match for the big one. Because if it's a big stadium event, you should be putting your biggest matches that you can ever think about. Alright? That's the way I look at it anyway. But now, folks, we are going to talk the match card, and we're going to start, of course, with the non-title match, and that non-title match is a casino gauntlet match for a future AEW World Title match, and if I had to guess, the winner of this match is going to challenge the World Champion at probably All Out, considering the fact that it's only like 13 days after All In. Last year, of course, All Out was an entire week, only 7 days after All In, and I was like, how the hell are they going to do that? They managed to put up a good match card. However, they had to use Ring of Honor a lot for that show because they were like, we kind of need this. We're running short on the amount of matches that we did not think this whole spacing out thing through. This time, okay, it's an additional week after All In. I'm like, that's still way too low. To have a pay-per-view like 2 weeks after the last one, in my opinion, has never been a good idea.
Yeah, especially when it's like they're still on traditional pay-per-view, so you're paying a lot of money to watch it.
Yep, well, they do got some combo deals, but not our problem at the moment. I mean, it probably will be our problem if we want to just pay for it later on, but we'll get to that when we get there. In the meantime, there's going to be, I believe, 21 participants because it's casino related. 5 for each suite and a joker. The only participants we know as of this podcast are Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Hangman Adam Page, and Evil Uno. There are 16 more participants to be determined. I guarantee, of course, somebody will be entering, probably as a result of Collision that's taking place. But we're not getting there because this podcast will be released before that ever happens anyway. So it doesn't matter. Orange Cassidy, we do know, is entering at number 1. Having won a triple threat match against Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, look, Kyle O'Reilly ended up being in this anyway. And I was there for that. I was in Norfolk, Virginia for that one because I was visiting my brother, the long neck Josh. I said the longest neck. I'm like, no, it's not the longest neck. It's a long neck, but not the longest neck. But anyway, I was there hanging out with my bro. Hope you're doing great. Shout out Josh. Love you, bro. You're obviously not watching my podcast because, let's be honest, you never watch my videos. At times. But anyway. Yeah, it was a good show. I had a good time there. And that triple threat was amazing. So as a result, now Orange Cassidy is entered at number 1 of this Casino Gauntlet match. So, as of right now, we only know 5 names. So we're just going to go through this. But knowing AEW, they'll have a special Joker. Because, let's be honest, it's a casino gauntlet match. And how this, of course, works. I mean, actually, I'll be honest. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know how a casino gauntlet match works because I don't think I've ever seen one. There probably has been one and I missed it, but I just don't know how that works. I do know the Casino Battle Royale and Casino Ladder Match, so I presume this is all based off the suites that come in, or am I getting it wrong? Does anybody here know anything about that?
Nope. Not really.
No, not really.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, we're
doomed.
Well, I think we'll figure it out. That's the thing about this match and everything. It could be the way I'm thinking. It could be the other way I'm thinking. It still should be a good match anyway. I think we're going to have a good time with it because, let's be honest, we're all having a fun time. For us in North America, this is going to be... Well, it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time, this show. But for, of course, those on the West Coast, 10 a.m. Tyler, you're in Australia. What time's this show starting for you?
So I checked on the website for our main pay-per-view provider here, Main Event, and they're saying that starts at 1 a.m. Good Lord. Now, I don't know if that counts for the pre-show or anything like that, but still, that is just, wow.
Well, a lot of people, the Brits anyway, in Europe, they kind of adapted to these certain start time limits on the full time anyway. But over on Australia, on our traditional start times, it's like a morning or afternoon showing for them.
Yeah,
so
normally
you
here in Australia,
you guys get the full
it's like
you guys
10 a.m. to 12 p.m. start.
Yeah, you guys get the full time like morning/afternoon experience, and I'll be honest, I like the morning afternoon experience because it's a lot more fun. When the show's over, there's still a lot of daytime left, and you can do other things still.
Yeah.
Although it must suck
so
for a lot of people due to the fact that they had to work during those hours sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Good thing SmackDown here in Australia airs on a Saturday, but that's neither here or there for this conversation.
Yeah.
But Rampage airs on a Saturday here, so at least that counts.
I guess it does. All right. Tyler, I'll start with you. Out of those 5 participants I've listed, Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Hangman Page, and Eva Uno, are any of those guys, do you think, going to win this Casino Gauntlet match?
Ooh, so I will say, when it comes to the match itself, I feel like if you play 2K, then you probably may have an idea of sort of like the format. I'm thinking more the Gauntlet Eliminator if you played that, but in terms of the competitors themselves, I feel like out of those 5, the odds-on favorite that most people are saying is Hangman Page, considering the storytelling that they're giving out here and that kind of thing. But interestingly enough, I kind of don't think that Hangman's going to win. Like, that may seem weird considering the story that they're telling, but I feel like it's leading to something else, which is going to be interesting. And it does lead to how I'm predicting some of the other matches in the card, but I'm thinking that a member of the Elite is going to win the Casino Gauntlet. Now, which specific member of the Elite? I am honestly not 100% on that front. I mean, it could be Jack Perry. I mean, Jack would be an interesting pick.
I mean, it could be, except for one problem. He's already scheduled for the show later on.
Yeah, of course, but, I mean, we don't know how exactly they're scheduling out the show type thing. I mean, it could be that the Gauntlet match is later on the cards, so if that's the case, then that is possible sort of thing, but
I mean, even then, I don't
could
think,
be Jack then.
Even then, I don't think Jack Perry would be in the match due to the fact that he's got to prepare for this Coffin match with Darby Allin, which we're going to talk about a little later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like Hangman Adam Page, when it comes to the Elite, might be the only one who's really in the match. As we all know, Kenny Omega, he's not even in the Elite anymore, but even then, he's out of commission. Bucks, they're busy with their tag team titles.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking as well with the Bucks as well.
It could be Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he's not scheduled. As far as I know, he's not scheduled for All in London at all.
Yeah, that's kind of weird how Okada is not even scheduled for the pay-per-view, even though it's like the biggest pay-per-view of the year for the company. And it's like Okada is one of your big draws, so it's like how is he not like booked on the show?
He's also on the frickin' poster.
Yeah.
So unless he's in this Casino Gauntlet match, he as far as we know, he ain't in the show.
Yeah, that is so weird.
This is why I'm like, they should have put his match with Claudio Castagnoli on All in London.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in terms of who I think is going to win the Casino Gauntlet, realistically, I am thinking that it's a member of the Elite, and narrowing down all the possible options, I think it's going to be Okada. I think Okada is a great choice to have win the Casino Gauntlet, because he's the kind of guy who you could build up back to the world title scene easily. Like, you really could. And I mean, sure, I believe he is still the Continental champion, from what I know, but, I mean, come on, this is Okada we're talking about. He's the kind of person who probably wants to be a double champion, so, I mean, you never know, but I'm thinking Okada.
Alright, Dustin, we're gonna move to you now. Your thoughts over on this Casino Gauntlet match, and even what Tyler had said.
I'm very excited for this gauntlet. I'm always a fan of gauntlet matches. So, with being the member of the Elite winning, I think Okada will be in the match. I can see that happening. I don't think he wins just because he's the Continental champion. That if he lost to Claudio, then I probably would have had him as an odds-on favorite to win the gauntlet. But I'm just going with the obvious answer. I think it's going to be Hangman Adam Page just because of the story that they're telling. I think it's pretty obvious it's Hangman Page.
All right, then. Steve, what is your thoughts on this gauntlet match coming up?
Well, out of the 5 participants that, we do know, I got to agree with Dustin. I'm saying Hangman. Based off the story, also, I've been waiting for Hangman to get another world title run and opportunity after, his not-so-great first world title run that ended under some different circumstances back then. Now, with the thoughts of a Joker, I will say, though, Hangman isn't my first initial pick to win. He's my preferred person to win. I think that the winner is going to be a Joker, and I think the Joker is going to be, I'm not going to say a certain name because I don't want to get the internet all riled up on rumors and stuff, but I think the Joker is going to be someone who, contract just ended with WWE, and they're going to be the one that ends up winning this.
Oh, what, like Ricochet?
Yeah, I really think he would be the most obvious one, to be the Joker. If it is somebody who's returning from injury or somebody who's already in the company.
I almost thought you were going to say Michael Oku.
Oh. Alright. Alright, so Hugh Balor, your thoughts on this Casino Gauntlet match?
Sure. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet to the point. I'm going to bounce off what Dustin said. Storyline-wise, I think it's best fit for Heyman Adam Page to win, and it'll come up when we talk about the match. That's all I'm going to say. I think Heyman Page is winning. I won't be surprised if someone like Ricochet, or especially Michael Oku. Personally, one of my favorites I've seen these past few months. He's really good, so I could see him winning. But yeah, I got Heyman Adam Page.
All right. And as for me, yeah, I really think Heyman Adam Page is gonna go forward with this, and to be honest, he's someone who, in my opinion, was an underrated AEW World Champion. But that was, of course, in 2021, and heading into 2022. And as for the others, I just want to see a good match. We still don't know 16 other participants. Plus, there could be that Joker, which I think could very well be Ricochet. But we'll see how things work out. In the meantime, folks, we're going to get started on the championship matches that we got going on, and we're going to kick things off with something that I personally just don't give a shit about. Let's get it over with. It's Chris Jericho versus Hook in a last chance match for the WTF Championship. Once
Hook is winning, don't
again,
care. There's my prediction.
sorry, what?
Hook is winning. There's my prediction.
Uh-huh.
That was quick.
Yeah, let's be honest. I think this is all, once again, similar to last year's All In, where Jack Perry got the FTW title and then lost it to Hook at All In, thanks to Real Glass. And now, well, I swear, if Chris Jericho makes a weird reference to Real something, he's probably going to be out of the place because Hook, and then Hook wins the title again. I don't get the deal
Real
about...
beer?
Yeah, I don't get the deal about Hook and the WTF Championship because it hasn't exactly been doing much of anything, even with Jericho holding the title, because, let's be honest, people are just tired of Jericho. So, yeah, I'm like, Hook's winning the title again, and who gives a damn? Because, let's be honest, this is our last chance match, and I don't see Jericho just hanging on to this whole thing. The learning tree also gimmick is weird, and I don't like it. It's perhaps one of his lamest things ever. Anyway, Steve, what's your thoughts on this?
I mean, it ain't any difference from what everyone else has to say. Yeah, Hook's winning. I don't really get what Jericho does nowadays or why he's even a champion in the year of 2024. And that learning tree stuff is just really, really stupid.
Mm-hmm. So you're going for Hook?
Yeah, Hook.
All right, then. And Dustin, what about you?
I'm actually going to go with a different route. I think Jericho's winning, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, huh?
I think Hook is done after this with the WTF title. I think he's going to go on to something different finally.
And that could be true as well. He is a weird Batman. And finally, Tyler, your thoughts on the WTF situation?
Yes, for the Wing Gold Championship. Well, for one, I haven't actually since I haven't been on the podcast talking about AEW for a long time. I should actually mention my thoughts on the whole learning tree character. And, for one, why is the theme song Spotlight? That's probably one of Fozzie's worst songs. You should have went with Sane. That's like the better choice for the gimmick because Jericho is literally crazy at this point, so Sane would have just made more sense as a song. Second, and the overall, yeah, the gimmick is just meh. Like, I can see where they're going with, but it's just annoying. And look, there's some things about that are kind of interesting, but not really. It's just fine. Yeah, I think when it comes to this match, it's an easy one. I think we're going to see Hook win the belt. Because, I mean, the FTW title, that's been Hook's thing. That is Hook's whole thing. Which, yeah, may not be great overall for the competitor that Hook is, but, I mean, that's his thing. That's what he's got. So, if you get rid of that for, like, a long time, it kind of is a bit but I do hope Hook eventually figures out something better. But, yeah, although I'm actually going to add something to this that I don't know if you guys will think that could be possible, but I actually think Hook is going to be the one to retire Jericho. Yeah, I actually think Hook might be the person to retire Jericho. Now, will it be All In? Maybe. I could see that. But I feel like with this story, it's probably going to be leading to Jericho hanging up the boots. And, yeah, I think Hook is probably going to be the one to retire Jericho.
That is a very high, interesting prediction on that part.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure, but I've just got a feeling. I've just got a feeling on it.
All right. We're going to move on now to the next match. This is a Fatal 4-Way London Ladders match. Well, we got another Ladders match, folks. For the AEW, sorry, I'll say it again. For the AEW World Threesome titles. And the champions right now, the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and on my kill switch, versus the Bang Bang Gang. Of course, that's Juice Robinson, Austin, and Colton Gunn. The House of Black, Malachi, Brody, and Buddy. And the fourth team is Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club, Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli. So Claudio's on the card. Okada, unfortunately, is not.
Boo.
So, 4 teams, ladder match with the threesome titles. So I'm like, okay, so how's this going to work? Are they going to have to pull down all 3 titles, or are they just going to attach it to something where you just pull that thing off the hook? But to me, when it came to tag team title ladder matches, I always preferred it when they just went for the belts themselves and just untied each one of them. To me, that's always been the better way of doing it. But, I do like the idea, however, of adding in ladders, because if this was just a straight-up 4-way trios match, like 3-on-3-on-3-on-3, it's literally 12 people, I don't think it would have hit as well. And, well, I guess they've finally figured out that doing a Stadium Stampede match is out of the equation after last year was absolutely terrible. And the reason I said it was terrible is because they could not get creative with that idea. And the Stadium Stampede only ever was cool because you got creative with your surroundings, especially with the empty stadiums. But when there was a full stadium, and that means your creativity is limited, simple brutality is not good enough to make a good Stampede match. So that's why I'm like, I like the idea that they went with a ladder match instead for this trios title match. I'm like, okay, well, good. We got so many participants here, but we're going to do this in ladder forms. There we go. Now the creativity is going to go wild. Because to my opinion, the Stadium Stampede should really not exist anymore unless you're going to get super creative with your crazy shit. Anyways. If I had to guess, I really think we're just going to keep it going with the Patriarchy. I think they're going to retain their titles because I'm looking at the other teams. The Bang Bang Gang, unless they just win it back from them. The House of Black, they've been the trios champions, but haven't had exactly a lot of good luck lately. And then, of course, Pac is joining the Blackpool Combat Club, probably for this, just because they needed to add an extra team or something. Because it just doesn't feel the same. And plus, Pac is challenging for the AEW International American All-Atlantic Championship at All Out. So, and yeah, that said all that. But in the meantime, yeah, I think the Patriarchy is going to keep this one. Steve, I'll start with you on this. What's your thoughts on the 4-way ladder match for those threesome titles?
Well, I mean, I like the concept. It's a great way to get, as many people as the card as you can. I'm going to stick with what you said. I have the Patriarchy. I think this is some of Christian Cage's best work, and especially the best thing he could be doing in the meantime while he's at AEW. So, yeah, just keep this thing going with them.
Yeah. Sorry. But I'm just saying, Christian Cage has been on the run of a lifetime in the last couple of years, ever since he won that TNT title a year ago. That was pretty much the start of things turning around for him for the better. And then of course, he's got Luchasaurus, now Killswitch involved. Then Nick Wayne got involved. Edge got involved with feuding with him, and now of course Edge is incapacitated because he stupidly did that dumb jump off the cage, and yeah, I feel bad for him on that part, but that was a really stupid thing on his part. But anyway, though, Heel Balor, your thoughts on this ladder match for the trios titles?
I'm excited for it. I love ladder matches. It should be a good match. I think the Patriarchy is going to win because, Father J is always right. We love Christian Cage in here.
Father J, yeah, right.
Father J, and he has to win because he's a good father to all of us. So, yes, I'm going with the Patriarchy. I love House of Black. I wish they were doing more important things instead of just pretty much being on the wayside. The Bang Bang Gang are cool. And as for the Blackpool Pack Club, I guess we're calling them, the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm trying to mix my words with it. It's just there. Blackpool Combat Club is pretty much dead to me at this point. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun match. I love ladder matches, but I'm going to go with Christian Cage and the Patriarch one.
All right. Dustin, your thoughts on this 4-way ladder match?
I also love ladder matches. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm pretty much in the same boat as you guys. I'm going patriarchy to retain. Some of the best work Christian Cage has done, probably in like
Father Jay.
decades. But yeah, patriarchy, I think, definitely should retain.
All right. And finally, Tyler, your thoughts on this ladder match?
Man. Funny story before I get to my prediction here. When I was looking for the match card for my notes here, it was still showing it as TBD, even though now we officially know one of the teams is the Packpool Combat Club or whatever name you guys might want to come up with. And I was thinking, oh, it's still TBD. Okay, mystery faction. Jeff Jarrett's faction. No, that ain't happening. Although I do think we'll probably see them get involved in another match on the show, but they'll probably get involved just so that they can get Tom Campbell involved. So, yeah, but that's either here or there. That's just a matter on my part. As for the trios themselves, Packpool Combat Club, yeah, I don't see them winning this one, especially considering the fact that Pac is currently going for what I currently am describing the belt as the AEW Internet Troll Championship. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it at the moment. If you know, you know. But
you'll probably reveal it a little later when we get to that title match anyway.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
No. House of Black. I like House of Black. I think they're a great team. Of course, there might be a little bit of bias because Buddy Murphy is amazing. Buddy Matthews is amazing. God damn it, I got my WWE-isms. No WWE-isms today, or this morning, whatever time it may be. AEW-isms for today. But yeah, Buddy Matthews, he's fantastic. Brody King, he's fantastic. Malachi's fantastic. But yeah, I don't see him winning here. Bullet Club Gold. And I'm still calling them Bullet Club Gold because the other name is not great. But yeah, I like Bullet Club Gold. Like, they're not booked the greatest, and I know that, but the talent in there is pretty good. Jay White, Juice Robinson, the Guns, they are fantastic talents. It's just that they have been booked awfully, and yeah, I honestly don't see them winning. So, when it comes to the winning team, it's got to be the Patriarchy. Like, Christian Cage has been on an amazing run. And you know what? Bold prediction, but I could see in the next year Christian Cage maybe challenging for the AEW World title. Now, will he win the belt? I don't think so, but I could see it happening. But for now, yeah, the Patriarchy should remain as the current unified AEROHW Trios champions. Yes, actually, I had to do that.
Actually, I don't think... No, they're not unified anymore.
Wait, really?
No, the ROH six-man tag titles have been split.
Huh.
Yeah, that was the... No, that was
what was the point of the unification?
That's exactly what I said. That was the shortest unification I have ever seen. And it wasn't even unified anyway. It was just two sets of championships put together. And if they can be challenged separately, then they were never unified in the first place. Kind of like Roman Reigns of Bloodline with their, quote, unified titles. They were never unified in the first place.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. But also you mentioned you could see Christian Cage challenging for the world title, but not to win it. Oddly enough, that already happened at Double or Nothing this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, guess it would happen a second time. Unless he would, so my opinion, unless he would win said world title, I don't see the point of it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if he does win the world title, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening. All right. We're going to move on now to the next match. This is for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm, who's been champion for over half, almost pretty much 3/4 of a year now. She won it at Full Gear last November. Still champion today. Is defending against her former protege, Mariah May, who won the Owen Hart Cup to earn this opportunity, and then immediately turned on Toni. So, well, I figured it's better that than a simply, well, let's build it up as a friendly competition before we do the big turn on after I lose to you or something at All In. Instead, fuck that. Let's just do the betrayal right here and now and start the big story. Good thing they did that too, because now things are a lot more exciting. And I want to say, yeah, I have been enjoying the whole deal with Timeless Tony Storm and, of course, Mariah May, because I really think that everything that's been building up, I was like, these two absolutely should fight it all in London. And now here we are. So, who would I go for in this one? Some people already assume Tony Storm's going to retain. Some, of course, believe that Mariah May's going to win, but we'll see about that. In the meantime, Tyler, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the AEW Women's title.
My God. Okay, so when the whole Timeless Tony Storm gimmick was introduced, at first I was like, what? At first it was like one of the weirdest gimmicks around, like this whole Hollywood, like 1930s era sort of persona. It was definitely something unexpected, but now that we've seen it mature over the past year, it might be one of the best characters in wrestling. I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, I'm really enjoying what they're doing. Now, sure, the whole references to Warner Brothers that they make in there do kind of annoy me a little, mostly because of very personal opinions that, well, yeah, I very much am not a big fan of the current state of the company, but that's neither here or there. But overall, I love the presentation of Timeless Tony Storm. I love Tony as a competitor. She is fantastic. And when they introduced Mariah May from Stardom, I was like, ooh, this person seems interesting. And over the time that we've seen Mariah in AEW, she has grown to be one of the best characters as well. Like, the both of them are fantastic. And, like, honestly, I know Mad Dog, who I mentioned on last podcast, I know he's probably going to be watching this podcast as well. He's a huge fan of this story. In fact, he's basically saying that it's like pure cinema. And you know what? I'm not wrong to agree with that. It is definitely pure cinema. Now, in terms of who's going to win the match, well, while I would love to see Mariah win the belt, I feel like they can hold off on the title change. And I know, UK person winning at UK show feels like it makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like you can hold up the title victory until maybe even Wrestle Dream. Like, I feel like you could do some kind of crazy Hollywood era stipulation sort of thing. Like, well, maybe do like a, oh my God, I just had an idea. What if you do like a Lufa, the butler, of course, Tony's butler, Lufa. What if you do like a Lufa on the Hollywood sign match? Or some shit like that. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but you could see that happening. So
yeah, it's the thing when it comes to pro wrestling, everything is ridiculous and everything absolutely could happen.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna say Tony wins here. Although I will say, since I know some people might ask about Jamie Hayter potentially returning, not this match. I'll talk about it a bit later, but if Jamie Hayter was to return, I don't see it in this match. But still, I definitely see this continuing the story with Tony and Mariah. So, yeah.
Alrighty then. Dustin, we'll go with you next. Your thoughts on the AEW women's title scene.
Before I get into my prediction and thoughts of this whole thing, do you mind if we put heel Balor last?
Sure. Go. That was what I was aiming for anyway.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, about Tony Storm and Mariah May. I've been enjoying the hell out of this story. Tony Storm has been in my opinion, has one of the funniest gimmicks I've ever seen. Probably one of the best gimmicks in all of wrestling. I've been loving it ever since the start of it. And this story with Mariah May has been so good. It's been well booked, well placed. I have no bad things to say about this story. As for who I think is going to win it all in, I think personally, I love Toni Storm. She's had a hell of a reign. I think her time as champion is about to come to an end. I do think it's about time we give someone brand new give her a chance at the AEW Women's World Title. I think Mariah May is going to win it all in, and I think she's going to have a hell of a reign with the belt.
Okay. We're going to move on now to the next guy, and of course, I'll be honest, I like saying the name like this. Steve!
I appreciate it. Before I get into that, I've been having a hard time trying to focus over all the simping going in here by a certain heel friend of mine who you'll be hearing very soon.
Those listening to the podcast,
I'm sorry.
those listening to the podcast have absolutely no idea what we're talking about because they can only hear us. But continue, Steve.
So, I agree with what Dustin said. I think Mariah May has been another one who has really shown a lot of, persona over her time being here, especially alongside Toni Storm. And, Toni's timeless gimmick has been incredibly out of this world. She's one of the rare occasions where, AEW is doing a gimmick, a character, right? And I definitely think that this is Mariah's time, like Dustin said, give somebody new. This is a chance to build Mariah up. Her breaking away from Toni, and what better way to cement that than her taking what means a lot to her, and that's the women's championship.
Yep, I can agree with that entirely. All right, get out your fire extinguishers, folks. Heel Balor, it's your move.
Let me get them there shaking at first. I'll let the boys talk too. Dustin, Steve, y'all can talk to him because I know y'all gonna try to help me along with this. I know y'all got stuff to say too, as well. This match. Oh man, I'm very excited for it. This is the one match I'm looking forward to outside of it. Yes.
Excited in more ways than one.
I'm very excited for this match. Tony's been a great champ. He's held it since what? Not Wrestle Dream.
Full Gear. Full
Gear's last year. She's been a great champ, and then of course here comes Mariah May, who I've been a fan of since January of last year. Found her on Twitter and kind of stuff, and she's been one of my faves, and one of my all-time faves, and going forward for a while in AEW. And heard this whole thing with her and Toni Storm has been very incredible, and I've really been enjoying it step by step. The heel turn. Well, first of all, when she won the Owen Hart Cup, I cried. I was happy. I really called Steve. I called our buddy Beast Mode 9000. Shout out to Beast, by the way. Love you, brother. And it's just been a wild ride. This heel turn with her turning to the dark side more ways than one, and her beating the shit out of Toni, blooding her up with the shoe, pushing Luther off the stage. She's done with being in Toni's show. She's going to destroy her personally, mentally, physically, all that good stuff. It's just been leading up to this moment. Mariah does not lose this match. One, I will lose my fucking sanity if she loses this match. And number two, I just think Toni Storm's reign is going to end here. Now, can I see them continuing? Yes, I definitely can see them continuing after. Make it a trilogy for all we know. I don't freaking know what they're going to do with this. But Mariah needs to win. It starts here. You want to start making the future. You want to start establishing new stars. You start right here. Give Mariah her freaking moment in front of her people. Pull the trigger, because in my opinion, if they don't do it right now, what's the point of doing it next? Again, not everyone wins the first try. Cody didn't win the first try. I'm just giving that as an example. Cody didn't win this first try. And Mariah could fail on her first attempt. And in the main event, which we'll get into a little bit later, that's not really his first shot to world championship. We'll get to the main event. Steve, Dustin, y'all want to say something, boys? I know y'all got something to say.
Just prepare for whatever result happens. We're going to get a loud reaction out of you regardless.
Yeah, like, you're more of a simp than Booker T on commentary.
You're not wrong. Mariah May, and she's awesome. So I'm putting my simping aside and my biasness aside. I think Mariah deserves it, and I think it's her moment. Give Mariah the title, please, Tony Khan. If you're listening, please give her the title.
Well, Tony Khan always listens to us because he fears me.
Exactly, he fears me too. So he fears all of us.
Fears for
Tony, give her the belt. Give her the belt. So I'll be a happy camper after Sunday. That's all I'm gonna say with this match, Nate. The main event when we get to that.
Well, I'll be a happy camper if Tony Storm wins, and thus causing heel Balor to go wild and nuts. So yeah.
You really don't want to see what's going to happen if Mariah loses this match.
Hey, you
literally don't want to see it.
Hey, unlike Tony Khan, I ain't gonna fear for my life if you get mad at me.
No, you have to fear me.
So speaking of that, who's gonna be the victim of Brawl In Part 2?
Oh. Easy. We'll talk about that when we get to the TBS.
Oh yeah, we got that match yet.
Oh, we got a lot to say about that. Same Dustin last for that one. He's got a lot to say on that.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. But anyway,
don't get me involved in any brawls. I'm not much of a fighter, but my custom character in 2K is.
Well, lucky for you, you were not on this podcast when Retribution kicked our ass.
Oh yeah, all those years ago.
I don't know if this is news to really say because it's been rumored he's showing up anyways, but breaking news. Nah, I'm not gonna say it. I want to say it.
I think we already.
Y'all want breaking news?
I mean, sure, if you want. I mean, that depends on what.
Ricochet's done the most with AEW. There you go. There's the breaking news.
Well, we already brought him up for the casino match, so we already have him thinking he's going to be in that
Ricochet's
match.
Ricochet's done with AEW.
Etc.
Anyways, next.
Yep, we're gonna move on now. We're gonna move on now to the next match since your Balor's done simping for Mariah May. For now.
That's never ending, sir.
For now.
That's never ending.
Because once All In hits, then, well, let's be honest, we gotta get all out of there. Haha, get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways.
Alright, folks.
We're
gonna move on now to the next match. This is a triple threat match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. As the champions, the Young Bucks are defending against FTR and the Acclaimed. And let's be honest, those are the three top teams right now, so it makes sense that you have them be in the match. I was in the audience, of course, for AEW Dynamite earlier this month when Young Bucks defended against the Acclaimed. And pretty good match, ended in a disqualification, which I kind of figured on the spot. It's like, yeah, it's going to lead to a triple threat at All In London. And yet, here we are. So that's exactly what we're going for. So let's jump right into this, shall we? Heel Balor, since you're done simping for Mariah May for the moment, let's actually try not simping for anybody else. What is your thoughts in the AEW Tag Team Title Match?
It's one of those matches where it's like just a repeat of last year, if that makes any sense. The tag title scene, AEW tag division in general, along with other tag teams in professional wrestling, it's just not really what it used to be a few years ago. A few years ago, AEW's tag team division, in my opinion, was probably the best thing they had out there next to the main event scene. Tag division is severely washed. I love the Acclaim. Love what they do. They're great.
Isn't it, Daddy? Well,
I mean, love the Acclaim. These two are big Acclaim fans, so yeah, it's been something. Yeah, the whole thing, and FTR, this is just me. I don't personally get the hype of FTR. I don't hate them, but I just don't get the hype of them. But the Young Bucks as tag champs, this is their first title defense, like literally ever in 100 days. It's really a wash and repeat of last year. I'll just give my prediction. I think that the Young Bucks will retain the tag team titles, and that's about it. I want the Acclaim to win. I hope the Acclaim win, but it's not gonna happen. So I got the Young Bucks winning. I don't care.
Wait, hold on a sec. Did you just say this is their first title defense in their entire reign?
Yes. Yeah, it is. You tell them. Yes, this is.
No, it wasn't. I was literally in the crowd for it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, never mind. That shows how much I pay attention to this company nowadays. I don't pay attention to the tag team division.
No, but anyway, the way I also think about it,
that they had?
I don't know, but
one.
I don't know, but probably more than Logan Paul. But anyway.
Oh, damn, man, you're not wrong.
I mean, that doesn't take much, but moving forward, yeah, at the same time, yeah, this kind of is literally a repeat of last year. FTR faced the Young Bucks at last year's All in London. We're just adding in the Acclaim to this match. But in the way I can't blame them because, let's be honest, that match last year was, in my opinion, the best match of last year's All in London. But to add a triple threat like with the Acclaim, I guess it's understandable. You want to put as many teams as many people in your show as possible, and yet you're still leaving out Okada. I feel like we're just gonna keep taking shots at this the whole time. But I'm just saying, like, I like the idea. I like the match, and I'm excited for it. It just seems like, it's kind of like, is this like the new Usos New Day, except without a great storyline? Because, with all due respect, the Usos and New Day, they had better chemistry. But, anyway, I am going to put my prediction as well. Knowing how the Young Bucks are on top of the world and are trying to be as big as always, I can see them retaining their titles. Let's be honest, FTR got the win over them at last year's All, and I guess this is going to be like a little bit of a payback moment. Or the Acclaim could become 2-time champs. Or FTR could become 3-time champs. Either way, I could see... I'm just looking for a good match. And if we get that, then I'll be satisfied with the result. Tyler, your thoughts on the AEW title match?
Man, these three teams I personally do really like. So the story they're telling at the moment with the Young Bucks, how they've essentially realized that they are the EVPs, and they just decide, fuck it, we'll just dress up in suits and promote Reeboks and do whatever we feel like, even if it causes other people to really fucking hate them. Which, you know what? You're not wrong. There's a lot of people out there who I know do not like the Young Bucks. And, yeah, I can see that. I mean, the Young Bucks...
one of them.
Yeah. I mean, the Young Bucks are basically like, what would happen if you take the dickhead switch and flip it all the way up to, like, 13? Like, that's basically the way you describe the Young Bucks, probably, even though they are really bloody good at wrestling. Like, they can be complete and utter bastards, and yet we still love their in-ring work. Which, is that something that is a good thing? I'm not really sure, but, I mean, in my opinion, the Young Bucks are, like, the only group where it's like they can be bastards in a good way. I don't know why, but somehow that is the case. FTR, Fear the Revolt. Honestly, at the moment, they haven't been doing much. Like, not gonna lie, at this point, they basically just aren't doing that much at all. Which is a shame, because they are a great team. Like, they have some of the best matches on the regular, and it's like, how is it that it's like, we don't see them that often, but when we do, it's always a banger. Like, it's always brilliant from FTR. And, well, the Acclaimed, they are so good. Like, Bowens and Max, they are fantastic. Oh, by the way, Max Caster. We'll get to the other Max another time. Well, later, but you get the idea. Point is, I think the Acclaimed are one of the best teams around. I think they're just fun. And, sometimes you just need fun. Like, wrestling obviously should have that level of fun to it. Like, sure, it can be serious. Sure, it can be dramatic. But sometimes you just want something fun. And I think this match definitely kind of proves that. I mean, the Young Bucks are kind of like the dramatic side, FTR are the serious side, and the Acclaimed is the fun side. So, hey, something for everyone, I suppose. But in terms of who's going to win the match, I'm thinking with the way they're telling the story, that the Acclaimed is going to win. I think with the way they've been booking it, I can definitely see the Acclaimed winning the belts. And I think that is probably going to be the right call in general. Like, there's some other things you can do with the Young Bucks and FTR, but honestly, you got to give the belts to the Acclaimed. You got to give it to them. They have very much have been working their asses off for so long, and while they have had a reign before, I think they can do some incredible stuff with this new title reign when they get the opportunity. So, yeah, I think the Acclaimed's winning.
All right. Dustin, your thoughts on the AEW Tag Team Title Match?
First of all, I'm pretty much with Heel Ballard. The tag division hasn't been booked the best in recent times. I'm excited for this triple threat tag for the tag titles. My pick, I'm actually with Tyler. I can see the Acclaim winning. Just weirdly, I can see the Acclaim winning. I don't know why. It might be a long shot, but I can see the Acclaim winning. I can obviously see Young Bucks winning, but I'm leaning towards the Acclaim. I think Tyler sold me on the Acclaim winning.
All right. Acclaim, nice one. Steep, your thoughts on the AEW Tag Team Title Match?
My realistic pick is the Young Bucks retaining. The team I want to win is the Acclaim, and like you heard me earlier, like Hill Ballard said, I absolutely love the Acclaim. You know, me and Hill Ballard here were the biggest Acclaim fans probably in here. I just
Everybody loves the Acclaimed, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I love their gimmicks. They're fun. They look like good people to be around. You know, they know how to hype up an audience, and Heel Ballard can attest to this. I absolutely love what Max Caster does. I love freestyling. I love rapping. He makes me, do it at times. So there's a connection there with me and the Acclaim, and that's why I'm such a big fan of them. I really do think that they do deserve a lot better, and they should win this match. I just, knowing how the Young Bucks are and their status in the company, I just really don't see that happening. Not at least now. If anything, maybe later point in time. But on Sunday, I don't really think that the Young Bucks are losing the titles.
All right. Time to move on now. What shall we choose next? Ooh, I got the perfect one. The AEW TBS Championship match. This is Mercedes Moné defending the title against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Now, I believe this is the match that you guys. I believe this is the match you guys want Dustin to go last on.
Save me for last.
Oh yes.
All right then. How about we just jump right in? This is honestly a match I'm excited for in a way because these are two of here's the thing. Mercedes Moné, I won't lie. She's good on a lot of things. However, there is something she needs work on, like the promo skills. And she needs to get rid of that stupid moneymaker finisher because, let's be honest, that botches and she can't ever get it done right almost all the time. But aside from that, she's doing really good in the ring. I do think that she's been pushing herself to be a champion far too fast. But hey, that's just my opinion on that. I do know she has creative control over herself, which I think is stupid. And it's not a good idea to keep. It's not a good idea to have your wrestlers in total control here. But you know what? It's fine. I'm looking forward to this match. It's tough for me because I've been sour on Britt Baker at times. I've also been sour on Mercedes and got told I was racist for it. But you know what? At this point, I don't care what people think. I ain't racist. I'm doing shit because I'm let's be honest. Sometimes she does good things. Sometimes she does bad things. She needs to work on her skills and everything. That ain't a race issue. It's a skill issue. There's a difference. And now, folks. However, I am looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward to this match because I think it could definitely be a good one. It better be. We're in London at Wembley Stadium here. So you better deliver because if you don't, yikes. As for who's going to win, I'll take a shot in the dark and say I think Britt Baker's going to win. I could actually see her winning the TBS Championship. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know this right now, she could be the first person to have won the women's title and the TBS title. Because as far as I know, that hasn't happened yet. So, that's my thing of that one. Dustin's going to go last on this case, so we'll start with Steep here. What is your thoughts on the AEW TBS title match?
Before I get into that, I just got to ask this. I don't think that we don't know the inevitable will happen. And the only question I'm going to ask now is,
X away.
Who's Punk and who's Jack Perry in this situation? Because I really, okay, before I say this, I apologize to both women. I apologize to both fan bases. This is just not going to end well. With the creative differences and the amount of power that both people have in their booking and how they view themselves, I just really don't think this could be a civilized conversation that either person will have with one another. I do think that something is actually going to go down between either person, and it's just going to be something that, it's going to cause something really bad to happen. Besides the match, I really think that there's going to be some difference there that really does not go well. As far as who wins the match, yeah, I will also go with Britt Baker, but I do not see this ending in a friendly manner that's not going to get actually physical, beyond, what they're supposed to be doing in the ring. I think something worse is going to come out of this before or after the match. Maybe even in the match, we'll pick up something that wasn't supposed to happen. This was just a bad pairing, a bad matchmaking between two people who have really extreme big egos that are not meant for each other. They're literally parallels of one another. It's like either person is looking at a mirror of themselves. That's who one is to the other. And I hate to say that because they're both great talents. They both can somewhat talk on the mic. They both can wrestle. They're just not, mature, responsible people you want to put in a position like this, especially over a championship.
Yep, that is true. Hell of a way of looking at it. I like it here. Tyler, your thoughts on the AEW TBS title match?
Yes. Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. First things first, I don't know if this is actually true with Mercedes, but I don't know if this is actually a true fun fact or anything like that, but I believe Mercedes, and this is something that isn't related to matchmaking, but I think she is the first person to have her likeness used on an action figure from the big four sort of companies in that field. Bandai, Jazzwares, Hasbro, and Mattel. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's actually true, then that's actually kind of cool. My thoughts on Mercedes currently in AEW, I think she's doing all right for herself. I mean, yeah, we all saw how everything played out in the past with her. And honestly, yeah, Mercedes definitely does have her quirks and her tendencies, that kind of thing, and her egos and everything. I mean, everyone has that a little bit, but I think Mercedes is kind of a little bit up to 9 on the scale. Not up to 11. Not, of course, to that level, but yeah, Mercedes is that kind of person where if you piss her off, it's crazy. And let's not even mention the fan bases. Oh, God. But honestly, just looking at her AEW run, I'm enjoying what they're doing. Granted, did she need to win the TBS title this early? No, not really, but I can see why they did. Obviously, it's like the marketing thing. You want to market Mercedes as this kind of top tier competitor, and you kind of want to help elevate the TBS title, especially with all these media rights negotiations going on. You kind of want to help build the TBS brand a little bit by having someone at the top of their game holding the belt that represents the network. So, yeah, I can see why that would make sense. But on the other hand, of course, Mercedes, well, looking at her in ring at the moment, she's doing okay. Granted, I don't think it's some of her best work in AEW, but I think she's doing all right. Plus, why did she need to win all the other belts, like the New Japan Strong, and didn't she win a AAA belt or something, or was that not the case? I think that was not the case, but then again,
no, it wasn't the case, but it could very well be on the case in the future.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, Mercedes, she's just all right. Britt Baker, on the other hand, is, also just all right. I'm not the biggest fan of Baker, but I can see that she's got a fair bit of talent. Baker, she does have some pretty good matches. She is a pretty damn good talent. It's just that, I don't know, I don't really vibe with her as much. I mean, Her theme song is cool. I like that, but you can't really judge someone just on a really good theme song. Even if we could. But still, with the match itself, honestly, I feel like, honestly, this might be a bold prediction. I see the match being like under 10 minutes. I don't see this going long. And you know what? I see this match ending in interference because, of course, Mercedes, she's got a new bodyguard, Camille. And, yeah, I see the match just ending in, like, interference and that kind of thing. And probably a brawl, which then leads, I think, and I don't know if she'll be medically cleared in time, but I think this is where Jamie Hayter comes back. I think this is where you bring Jamie Hayter back. And I could see her being the one to beat Mercedes, probably at Full Gear, to be honest. But, yeah, I can see Jamie Hayter being the one to beat Mercedes, but to do that, you're going to have her return here. So I think Mercedes is going to win here, and I think the match is going to end via interference. That's the way I see it.
All right. And Heel Balor, your thoughts on the TBS title match?
I don't like either of these.
He's laughing, so this is going to be crazy.
I don't like either of these two at all. Putting my personal pick aside, because I don't want to get me demonized. That's the only reason I'm not going to say what I really want to say. If I were to say what I really want to say right now, you'd be demonized. I'm going to keep this short and sweet to the point. Just like Steve said, these two have ego. Everyone in professional wrestling has ego. These two are literally almost the same person. Is there going to be a CM Punk Jack Perry situation? I don't freaking know. I will say this. Be civil, be kind, be adult, act civil, which we all know this company is known for not being civil, obviously. Having any wrestling company, this one is more notably for this one. Make sure it doesn't go too long. Make sure that Mercedes wins this match. Enough said. Mercedes wins this match, and that's it.
All
Now
right.
go to the back, go act civil, go act respectful, and that's it. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
For Baker, on the other hand, I'm not going to say what I need to say. No, I'm keeping it to myself. No, I don't want to get you demonetized. No.
All right.
It's Dustin. Mercedes wins. I'm not saying what I really want to say.
All right,
Go out
Dustin.
there, have a good match.
All right, Dustin. You wanted to go last.
Dustin.
All right, Dustin. You wanted to go last. So let's see what you got to say.
Let's see what you're cooking.
I also, just like Heel Balor, do not like either one of these two. I'm more of a fan of Mercedes than I am of Britt Baker, for obvious reasons when it comes to Britt Baker. If you've seen what she has been, what stories have been put out there online, you would know what I'm talking about. Anyways, about the match, Mercedes should win and needs to win, because I don't think any sort of imagination Britt Baker should win this match, because I personally think it would be a bad look on the company because of all the stories that have been put out about her. As for Jamie Hayter showing up, I would much prefer Jamie Hayter returning in the women's world title match as for this match, because I don't want her anywhere near this situation, because I'm a huge Jamie Hayter fan. So as a huge Jamie Hayter fan, I don't want her near any of this. I would rather her be involved with Toni Storm and Mariah May, personally. So for the winner, Mercedes, please beat Britt Baker. For the love of God.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on now to the next match. This next match is a coffin match for the AEW TNT Championship. We mentioned Jack Perry earlier. Now it's time to actually talk about him. Jack Perry's defending the title against Darby Allin. And this match came in place from the Blood and Guts War Games match, where Darby Allin threatened to set Jack Perry on fire if he didn't get a title match. And I'll be honest, that was funny. But that's how we got to where we are now. It's a coffin match. So this is the second year in a row where Darby Allin at All in London is in a coffin match, as he teamed with Sting last year to take on Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland. Wow. How the mighty have fallen before that. But goes to show that things work out eventually. But I really think that this could definitely be a violent match, pretty brutal, pretty fun too. And I also love the fact that you literally can't spell Darby Allin's last name without literally saying all in. Because that's how you spell it. That's awesome. Dustin, you went the last time. I'll actually start with you this time. Your thoughts on the Coffin match for the TNT title?
By the way, your little joke about you can't spell Darby Allin's last name without all in. I've been saying that for the whole time Darby has been in AEW. Anyways, I'm a huge Darby fan. And funny enough, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think Darby has ever lost a Coffin match in AEW. Correct me if I'm wrong.
As far as I know, he didn't.
Even though from what we now know, I think he has an AEW World Title match coming up at Grand Slam, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think he does win the AEW World Title there, obviously. I don't think that's happening, no matter who the champion is then. So I think it's best to keep his undefeated streak and Coffin matches going during this match. I think Darby Allin should win the TNT title against Jack Perry. Personally, it would make me happy because I'm a big Darby fan. But Jack Perry to me is not clicking with me. I don't know what it is. It's just not clicking at all. So I think it's best to just give the belt to someone that you can rely on as TNT champion like he has been in the past. I think Darby Allin should win this one, and I'm hoping he actually has a long reign with this one.
All right. Steve, your thoughts on the Coffin match for the TNT title?
I mean, just like Dustin said, when it comes to AEW and Coffin matches, they were meant for someone like Darby Allin, and especially if it's in a match of, this caliber, it could have been any type of, hardcore, extreme, thoughts count anywhere, just some type of match where literally anything can happen. I would still have it being Darby. If it was a regular match, I would give Jack Perry the edge a little bit, but since this one has stipulation to it, I don't see Darby Allin losing here, especially, a Coffin matches, which... But with him, it's going to be synonymous when it comes to him with AEW. So, I'll give it to Darby.
All right. Heel Balor, your thoughts on the Coffin match for the TNT title?
I love a good Coffin match, man. I guess Darby's the new Undertaker out there. I guess we'll call him the Darby Taker or the Allen Taker. What is that face-painted freak going to do? Hell, he'll probably climb the top of Wembley off that big structure on the top of Wembley Stadium and do the big coffin drop off there. And don't do that, actually. You will not be on this earth. That's all I'm going to say if you do that.
He'd probably do it if he drinks like 50 Red Bulls or some shit.
Knowing Darby, he probably would do that. Just knowing him. So, this is he's going to climb Mount Everest. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's Darby. So, in all seriousness, I'm very excited for this match. The way that Darby got this match was fun. He threatened to light Jack Perry on fire, which was wild, and it's Darby, so again, I'm not really surprised. Who I think is going to win? I want Darby to win, but I think Jack Perry is going to keep the championship. He just got a new design for it. Honestly, the belt design fits Darby Allin more. Steampunk, more badass look with the belt. It's all gray, it's black, and it's musty looking. It's so cool looking. Which Jack Perry actually made that belt by himself, which is freaking awesome. Video back, go watch it. I gotta go with Jack Perry on this one though. I want Darby to win, but I'm going with Jack Perry. I think bigger things coming for Darby Allin.
All right. And Tyler, your thoughts on the Coffin match for the TNT title?
I'll tell you, this is going to be a really fun match, not gonna lie. This is gonna be one of the craziest matches on the card, and it has to be. With such a stipulation, it needs to be. But the two competitors we've got here. First, we've got Jack Perry, the real glass enthusiast, I guess he's a fan of real glass. I don't know why he would need to be a fan of real glass, but that's what he is. And, well, I have been making jokes online about how he really should be with Christian Cage, but, God, I'm still waiting for them to do that. Like, I don't know why. That's the kind of thing where it's like I really want to see Jack Perry and Christian Cage team up. I don't know why. I just, come home, Jack. Come home to your real father, Christian. Not you, Christian, the other Christian.
I figured as much.
Yeah. But, yeah, honestly, the whole scapegoat thing, like, I get why he's doing the whole scapegoat thing, the whole situation last year, which, you know what? Since I wasn't on the podcast here last year, I will quickly mention my fall on that. Yeah, it is what it was. Like, but this is the kind of situation where it's like, just, you don't want to be a dickhead about it, and, well, they decided to be dickheads about it. That's the kind of thing where you just don't want to be a dick. So, yeah, word of advice, don't be a dick. But, I mean, there is someone who I could be giving that advice to, but that person's way too far in the dickheadness scale, but we'll get to him later. But, honestly, Jack, he's doing okay. He's not great, though. He's just all right. Now, as for Darby, I love Darby Allin. Like, he's the kind of person, you know, no joke, I think he'd be the kind of person you'd probably create a skater in the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. Somehow, I'm still surprised he wasn't even included in Pro Skater 1+2. But Darby, he is honestly one of my favorite kinds of wrestlers. Like, look, I'm not much of, like, I love a good death match, but I'm not the kind of guy who goes out to watch that kind of thing. Occasionally I might watch one, but yeah, but I just love Darby's athleticism especially. Like, he's crazy. That's the way I put it. And I love his look. I love his appeal, like the whole goth look. I'm a fan. I am a fan of Darby with everything he's done. He is fantastic. Now, I know some of you guys have said that he might be going for the world title. Well, I would love to see Darby in the world title picture. I could see him winning the TNT title. In fact, that's what I'm predicting. I think Darby will win the TNT title here. And I don't expect it to be a long reign. I feel like the theme is that the Elite are slowly losing the belts. That's probably the theme that I've been going for, actually, with my predictions. But, yeah, I very much am like, I see Darby winning the belt here. And, look, it may be a 2-week run so that he can have the belt until All Out, and he can lose it All Out, or something like that. Something like that, but to be honest, I do see Darby winning. I just see it happening.
All right. I got everybody there, right?
Affirmative.
Affirmative, indeed.
Yeah, we're good.
Yep. Me, I also think, honestly, Darby Allin could very well win it, but at the same time, I think Jack Perry might pull some shenanigans and retain his title. But the best thing about this is we'll have to find out. In the meantime,
I bet you that Jack Perry's going to have a coffin made out of real glass.
That's definitely worth crying a river.
Oh, geez.
Because that would hurt.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we're going to move on now to the next match. We have 2 matches left to talk about, and here's the first one. The AEW All-Atlantic, International, American, Canadian, Mexican, and Antarctican Championship, as MJF is defending all those countries' titles against Will Ospreay.
Tyler, you better go last, bro.
Yep, Will Ospreay.
Tyler for last.
Yeah, Will Ospreay lost the title to MJF about a month ago on Dynamite in a match that was literally 4 seconds shy of an hour. Literally went almost at the time limit. And now we have a rematch set for All in London, and I got this weird thing that they only did this just so Will Ospreay can actually win a championship in front of well, his home country's crowd in the UK. At that which point, I'm like, well, why didn't you just have him not win the championship until said show in the first place? Because I don't like the idea of losing the title just to win it back. They did it with CM Punk a couple years ago with the AEW title. They had Jon Moxley literally squash him, and then about a week and a half later, he wins it back. And that never made any sense to me. But it is what it is here. But yeah, MJF versus Will Ospreay, absolutely. They had an amazing banger performance on Dynamite, and I really think they could have another banger performance this time. Who knows? It might actually reach the 60-minute time limit this time, and we had a draw or something. I don't know. Although, knowing the fact that this is at Wembley Stadium, they don't go to Wembley Stadium all the time, just once a year nowadays. I don't think that would happen. So, Tyler's going to go last here. So, Heel Balor, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on the AEW literally every single country championship.
Talking about one of my favorite wrestlers of all, well, nowadays, Will Ospreay. He's been doing pretty good since his AEW debut. Had that banger with Swerve. Had the freaking match of the year for me with Bryan Danielson a few months ago. And now had a match with MJF that went literally almost an hour long. I have a second. There you go. Honestly, that I understand what they're trying to do. Just I'm gonna piggyback up what you said, Christian. They want Oscar to win a belt in his own country, which is fair. But at the same time, yeah, why didn't you just let him carry the title into the country? And I understand what they're doing, but at the same time, you could have done this a little bit more better. But besides the fact, I'm excited for the match. MJF and this whole feud with Oscar has been pretty good. The mic work's been fun, especially last night on Dynamite, which was very entertaining. With MJF bloodying up Billy Goat and leaving a bloody mess, the whole story of Will Ospreay not wanting to use the Tiger Driver 91, which he hurt Bryan Danielson with. He doesn't want to do it. Here's the thing for you, Billy Goat. Come here, Ospreay. Come here for a sec. You do realize this guy has threatened your family, threatened you, bloodied you, and then MJ basically said he's going to be sleeping with your wife or girlfriend or whatever. So you don't want to Tiger Driver 91. But you're okay with hitting him blade 20%, which is honestly a lot worse than actually, no, it's not a lot worse than Tiger Driver 91. Never mind. So rephrase that. Yeah, Ospreay, cave the man skull in, and then give him Tiger Driver 91. Then afterwards, give him 5 hidden blades. Then put him to sleep with the Stormbreaker. Will Ospreay's gonna win, but honestly, I would not be shocked if MJF actually won the match. But after seeing Dynamite last night, yeah, I feel like someone from the UK could potentially lose the match. I just don't see it happening. But if anyone would lose, it would be probably Will Ospreay. I think Mariah May needs to win her match. Ospreay technically doesn't need to win this match. The only reason he wins because the UK, obviously, understandable. But yeah, just to see the reaction from the UK, I'd be probably laughing if Ospreay lost. I mean, considering that's my favorite wrestler nowadays. But I think MJF is going to lose. Yeah, Big, what's the point of creating the new championship belt if it was just created just for the storyline? But whatever. I mean, I'm still going to enjoy the match. Looking forward to it. Round 2, I got Will Ospreay winning.
So, is nobody going to talk about the fact that Willie just said, come over here, as if Will Ospreay was in the room with us?
I mean, I would not mind that.
Are you trying to be Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, being like, get over here?
Hey, let's say Scorpio Sky. I say, hell no.
Reach for the sky.
No.
Oh, boy.
No. Well, no. No.
Well, anyway, we're going to move on now to Steep. Steep, your thoughts on the AEW every single country except America championship.
Does North Korea count?
Continue.
No? Okay.
Well, my thoughts on the AEW every single country minus America championship. I'm a little more what you guys said. I know the route they're taking. I rather MJF retain because I'm just not a fan of championships constantly being hot potato, back and forth. But at the end of the day, it is Wembley. It is a big moment for Ospreay, and I guess this is what they wanted to do all along. Honestly, Wembley should have been the place where he first wins the title, but I guess making him a two-time champ there will also, get a pop out of the audience regardless. So, yeah, I mean, the obvious answer will be go for Ospreay. I prefer the title not to get hot potato than played catch with, but yeah, not up to me. So yeah, Ospreay's winning.
All right. Dustin, your thoughts on the AEW every single championship except Australia title?
Anyways, wow. Anyways, I'm excited for Ospreay and MJF. Ospreay's also been one of my favorites, and probably top 3 AEW wrestlers at the moment for me. I also am not a fan of them hot potatoing the belt. I know where they're going. It's obviously Ospreay's winning the belt. I would have preferred if they kept it on MJF since he just brought the new belt in, but they're not going to do that. They're going to give Ospreay the title in front of all of Wembley Stadium. So my obvious choice is Will Ospreay to win the title.
All right, then. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I mentioned before, I think Will Ospreay is just going to get this back again. All right, and finally, Tyler, what is your thoughts on the Australian Does Not Matter Championship?
Get your popcorn.
Yep, folks, get your popcorn. And I bet immediately that there's going to be people in the comments right now who will be like, what the hell is this going on about? But, oh boy. Well, for starters, the American Championship. Like, I mean, I get why they're doing it, but considering MJF's gimmick, it's like, wouldn't it be better off if you just named it the Internet Troll Championship? Like, I mean, like, yeah, there it is, folks. There it is. But I want to start with some positivities. I'll be ripping Band-Aid on my full thoughts on him in a bit, but Will Ospreay, holy shit, what a run so far. I am loving Will Ospreay in AEW. Like, Will Ospreay has always been someone I enjoyed watching his matches. Like, honestly, I think the style of wrestling he does, where it's like high intensity, but also with a bit of storytelling thrown in, that's the kind of style I like. That's the kind of style I really enjoy. Like, I like matches that have that sort of high intensity, whether it be like the adrenaline, like the speed sort of thing, or like the athleticism, or if it's on the other scale, sort of like the hardcore type aspects. That's the kind of thing I like in my wrestling. But I also like it to add a little bit of the storytelling in there. And I think Ospreay is the perfect example of that. Like, sure, I get it. He's not for everyone, but he is my kind of wrestler. He's the kind of wrestler I really like to watch. So, yeah. Well, time to rip the Band-Aid off, folks, because, oh, boy.
Damn.
I cannot, I'm going to repeat this right now, I cannot stand MJF. I fucking cannot. And I get, obviously, people will say, oh, he's playing a character, sort of thing, that kind of thing. I'm looking at the approach of the character, obviously. I don't know what he's like in real life, and obviously I'm taking that kind of kayfabe sort of thing. But considering the stuff he does on TV and that kind of thing, you have to assume he's kind of like that in real life. And what he basically is, I'm just going to say it, is a neck-bearded internet troll who has no bitches. I swear to God, MJF is just the most dickhead of dickheads on the face of the planet. And he's not the kind of dickhead you like. He's the dickhead you just want to see just beaten up. Like, I swear to God, he is the most annoying person I've ever seen on the internet. And I've seen my fair share of dickheads online. Like, I'm the kind of guy who's in, like, a fair bit of the console war discussions, and I see dickheads all the time in that sort of sense. But MJF is, like, on another level of dickhead. Like, he's an asshole. And not in a good way, in a bad way. He's like the kind of person you wouldn't want hanging around with other people. I do not understand the appeal of MJF to people. Like, why do people even like him? Like, what's the deal? Like, his in-ring work? Like, yeah, his matches are okay, but they're not on the same level as a lot of the other guys you see on the AEW roster. His promo work? I mean, yeah, he can cut a decent promo, but fact of the matter is there's a lot of other people who can cut better promos. And you know, I'm just going to say it. I think the final boss, Rock, cuts a better bastard promo than MJF. Like, MJF is not good at being like that kind of thing. And people were cheering for him a year ago. People were treating him as always like the baby. It's like, why? Why would you cheer someone who is an asshole? Like, why would you like someone who is basically the human equivalent of 4chan? And obviously, I know his current, America, because it's all political, all sort of like in that right-wing politics type vein. And obviously, I'm not going to get into that can of worms because it's bullshit, but I just can't fucking stand MJF. And look, if you're a fan of MJF, I get why you might be a fan of him, but I can't fucking stand the guy. And yes, I've had my Twitter squabbles with him in the past, but I leave him blocked. I leave him blocked because I just can't stand the guy. I can't stand the guy on social media. I can't stand the guy on the product. I just can't fucking stand him. So with that being said, yeah, I do see Will Ospreay winning the match. Absolutely. Like, yes, this is UK show, UK guy winning at UK show type thing. And yes, hot potatoing the belts and all that. But to be honest, this is the right call. You need to give the belt to Ospreay. Having it on MJF is like just completely harming your company in a way. Like, why would you give one of your top belts to a guy who is literally like the human equivalent of 4chan? Why would you do that? That is a terrible idea, in my opinion. And I think that harmed I think when he was the world champion, MJF, he harmed the world title. Controversial opinion, but I think he harmed the AEW world title by holding the belt. And you know what? I'm actually going to make a bet with you guys right now. I'm actually going to make a public bet because I 100% believe that Will Ospreay is winning. So, here's what I'm going to do. If MJF somehow wins the belt, somehow keeps hold of that belt, I will gift 5 gift subs to 4 different streamers on Twitch. Now, if you don't know what a gift sub is, it's basically paying for a monthly subscription to a creator sort of thing. Like, you're actually gifting someone access to, like, special packs sort of thing. I will gift 5 of them to 4 different creators' communities. So that's 20 gift subs. And 20 gift subs is a lot. And considering how much Twitch gift subs are, God, that is going to be expensive as hell for me. But you know what? I am so confident that Will Ospreay is winning that I'm making this bet. I am 100% confident, folks. 100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, we here at the Losers Lounge podcast are not responsible for any bets that can and probably will be made, and no matter what happens to Tyler's bank account.
Yes. But yeah, and you know what? If he actually does win on a future episode of the podcast, and I don't know if you'll be able to edit this in, but we'll probably show the proof of me actually gifting out the gift subs. So,
I mean, you do that.
I don't know.
I mean, you can do that in your own time. Like I said, we ain't responsible for any of that.
Oh, yeah, but I just want to make that clear with you guys and everything. So, yeah, but 100% I see Will Ospreay winning. 100%. Oh, boy. Now I'm expecting the comment section to be a bunch of people thinking, oh, God, what is this guy about? But then again, you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. Wouldn't it be funny if Will Ospreay shaved MJF's neck beard? Like, I look at MJF and he's got like a neck beard. Not going to lie. So, wouldn't it be funny if he did that?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I kind of want to see that now.
That would absolutely be random in the match, but okay. All right. Folks, it's main event time. Time to talk perhaps the biggest match of the whole event. And let's be honest, this is already 3 times larger than last year's main event at All In London. Because, well, last year's All In London relied entirely on not only just the tag team of Adam Cole and MJF, but their big main event for the world title. In this case, things are a lot different. Swerve Strickland, the AEW World Champion, who last year lost a coffin match to Sting and Darby Allin. And Bryan Danielson, the challenger, who last year was too hurt to even show up. So he wasn't even there. This is different. This is a big time deal here. Swerve Strickland defended the world title against Bryan Danielson, the winner of the Owen Hart Cup tournament, in a career versus title match. Bryan Danielson said he'll never wrestle ever again if he loses the match. And we're not talking full time, we're talking ever. Which is why I'm like, Bryan Danielson, I think he just spoiled that he's winning this match here. I'd like to be wrong, though, because honestly, it's time for Bryan Danielson to hang it up and go be a full-time father. But I really got this idea that, okay, he's going to be the champion. He's only going to hold on to it for probably a couple months and then drop it at the Wrestle Dream event in his home state of Washington. And then lose it there. And then bye-bye. That's about my whole deal about the whole thing. Bryan Danielson, bye-bye. It was nice having you around, but bye-bye. I'm just kidding. I have all the respect in the world for Bryan Danielson. He's a fantastic performer. And if he's going to go out, he deserves to go out in a blaze of glory. What better blaze of glory than the main event at Wembley Stadium? That's what I think about it anyway. But, no, I think Bryan Danielson's going to take this one. Dustin, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on the main event for the AEW World Championship.
Wait, Christian. I was going to say, Dustin, you want to go last? Because I think you have a lot more to say than I do.
Go ahead. I'll go last on this one. I got an interesting prediction that should be last.
Okay, we're gonna switch. Okay, we're gonna switch things over, and Heel Balor, it's your turn.
Okay, so basically, this match here, man.
And time's up.
Wow.
Time's up before you had a chance to simp for Bryan Danielson.
I don't simp for D-Bry. I mean, he is one of my favorites, but I don't simp for D-Bry.
Hey, hold on a second. It's AEW. It's Bridie.
Bridie. Wow.
Yeah.
BD. I don't freaking know.
I think we need a simp alarm.
Yes, we do. Yes. we need to make that for the next podcast. Seriously. Simp. Yes. Okay, in all seriousness, man. Man, this match. Bryan Danielson put his career on the line. Honestly, that was the first thing I was thinking. I'm like, it's that big of a stage for for what they do with AEW, with Wembley Stadium here, with All In. And I'm thinking he's gonna put his career on the line. They did it. Swerve's reign started at Wrestle Dream. Yeah, was it Wrestle Dream? Did I get it right?
No.
No. What was it?
From what I remember, I think it was Dynasty.
Yeah, it was
Dynasty. That's what I meant. Not Wrestle Dream. Dynasty. My bad. Started Dynasty, my birthday month. It was great. First African American AEW World Champion history, and the reign's been it's been so, man. Not bad, not good. I'm very in the middle with it with the world title run. Put on obviously the banger with Will Ospreay. He defended the title for a good while. It's been decent. I'm not gonna say it's been good, not bad, just decent. And then there's Danielson putting his career on the line. Again, saw it coming. Had a legendary career. Ring of Honor, WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, PWG, all that good stuff. He's done everything. Hall of Famer down the road, even though literally he says himself he doesn't want to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Sure, buddy. Okay, I mean, they'll probably abide by your wishes, but we'll see. He's done everything. Multiple-time world champion, main event of WrestleMania twice, former Ring of Honor world champion, all that good stuff with the American Dragon, man. Is it time for him to hang it up? Yes, it is time for him to hang it up. Do I think he's going to win here? Well, let's see the circumstances. First of all, Swerve's reign, like I said, has been in the middle. But Danielson's never won the AEW World Championship. My last chance to win the championship. My neck, my family kind of stuff. Those things are very, very important. His family, his neck issues. He's had a lot of concussion issues, obviously, with Dragon. It's so hard.
Because whoever wins this match, I think will be dropping the championship whenever to a certain cowboy or somebody else. Not Brock Lesnar. No, not Brock Lesnar. That's certain cowboy shit. It's very hard. I'm gonna go with Bryan Danielson. I think Bryan Danielson's winning. I think they're giving him his run. It won't be that long. Not just because I'm a big D-Bry fanboy. Not just that. That's because I'll be wearing my freaking yes shirt on this pay-per-view. Not just I'll be yesing to the skies if he freaking wins the AEW World Championship. Because honestly, I just think he deserves it. But at the same time, does Swerve deserve to be underutilized as champion? Does his reign need to be looked back as like, damn, that sucked? You know? Swerve could use the win too. I look at the opposite of Swerve when you get to retire one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. In my opinion, one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, next to Zack Sabre Jr. and personally one of my all-time faves, Kurt Angle. Bryan Danielson, he's done everything. The guy who's married, I just named all of his accolades, for God's sakes. You all know about Danielson. Swerve gets to do that. Then he gets to go on and feud with Hangman Page for the World Championship. But does Hangman and Swerve really need the World Championship? Potentially, yes. Wouldn't mind it. I loved, again, to see Hangman get a second run. Regardless, I think Hangman is going to beat one of these guys for the World Championship. But I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson to win. I think it's just going to be his one title reign. He's never won a championship in AEW, pretty much because he keeps saying no. I think Tony Khan's going to force it. And I think the final countdown is going to hit the whole tagline of this storyline is the final countdown. I think we're going to hear the final countdown at Wembley Stadium. His family's going to be front row. I think Danielson's winning the title. Give it to Danielson. Give him a 3-month reign. That'll be it. Then you ride off into the sunset. You put over the future of the company, probably Hangman. Maybe Swerve wins it back down the road. I don't freaking know. I just want to see Danielson get the championship. Give me what I freaking want. To quote my all-time fave Batista, give me what I freaking want. Bryan Danielson win the AEW World title, please.
And then Swerve kills him in 18 seconds like Sheamus.
Then I will be this match ends in 18 seconds. I'll be super pissed.
Would be funny, though.
I don't think heel Balor's laughing.
Yeah, it would. It would be funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Anyway, though, Steve, we're gonna go to you next. Your thoughts on the main event for the AEW World Championship?
There's a lot behind this match. There's that thing like if Danielson could retire at the end of this, or he could be walking out as a champion. For something as special as a retirement, especially for Danielson, I don't think it would happen somewhere like All In or at Wembley, or even if he were to retire or have a last match per se, it would be AEW. I don't even think a last match for him would be WWE. I honestly think it should be somewhere where, he really came from. That would be somewhere like, if he were to have a last match, it should be a place like Ring of Honor where, that was where Danielson was really making his name known, and coming from somewhere like that. While yes, AEW is the place he is now, WWE popularized him. I just don't see him having a final match anywhere other than Ring of Honor, even with Ring of Honor being in the state that it is in today, unfortunately. So me personally, I don't think he should have his last match be here. I honestly think he should be, he should walk out as the champion. I think that he will have the title maybe 3-4 months, and maybe be champion for maybe 100 days, maybe a little less than that. But even then, at least, he could say he won something before he really does have to go part-time, or even when he does actually hang it up. So, yeah, I don't see this being Danielson's, the way they're hyping this up, his career is on the line. I know a lot of the times that means, that person who put their career on the line, they're the one losing. I don't see that being Danielson in Wembley. If anything, a career match for him would be somewhere like Ring of Honor, where he would lose that match, ending his career there. So, yeah, me personally, I think Danielson is and should walk out with the championship.
All right. Tyler, it's your turn.
Oh, man. This match. This is probably
Time's up.
Huh?
Time's up. Just can't continue.
Okay. Well, this
Time's
match,
up.
Yeah, final countdown. Give me a
Exactly.
little countdown.
Now you got it. Final countdown. Time's up. I was wondering how long. Hey, don't hum that. That's gonna cost me.
Oh,
Copyright
sorry.
here. Thank you. Continue.
Yeah. God, I gotta say, I'm really excited for this match. And, you know, I'm gonna say it, this might be the biggest match AEW, I think, has ever held. Like, not just because that's in a massive stadium like Wembley. I think, in general, this is probably, like, one of the biggest matches the company, I think, will ever put on. Because the stakes of this match is just insane. Now, I want to make this clear. I think the choice of the stipulation, I feel like, was not the best idea, because you've kind of made myself and a fair few people think about who is going to win the match. But, okay, let's go over the two competitors. Swerve. I think his run in AEW has been actually pretty good. Like, I think Swerve is a fantastic competitor. From, like, when he started in the Indies to when he went to WWE and now in AEW, he's been doing pretty damn well for himself. And I think he's one of those guys that is very much on the underrated pile. Like, he is definitely fantastic. Now, Bryan Danielson, he's like one of the greatest of all time. Like, a living legend, in my opinion. He's probably one of the greatest, not just technical wrestlers, but like wrestlers in general. Like, he can bring that level of storytelling. He can bring that athleticism. He can bring that intensity. That's what makes Danielson special. He's the full package. Like, 100% the full package. So, yeah, before I get to who I think is going to win here, I'm actually going to tell you guys a little bit of a story, actually. So, obviously, this is a match where the stipulation is about if Danielson loses, he retires. And I think that match is going to get very emotional. And for me, a match that I felt very emotional about when I saw it live was when the Undertaker-Roman Reigns match happened. And obviously that's not in the sort of sense, but when it looked like Taker was retiring, I cried. No joke. I actually cried because it felt so sad to see someone who I really liked just go out in such a way like this. And when it comes to this match, I really don't want to get that emotional again. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Swerve. Swerve is great, but I just don't see Danielson retiring yet. I really don't. I still, you know what? I'm going to say it. I think he should retire at Double or Nothing. I feel like that should be where he retires. Like, I feel like that's like the perfect point to retire him. But I know, obviously, he's considering like surgeries and that kind of thing. I know that is the case, but look, if we're gonna do this, this is the way I do it. I would have Danielson win the belt. I 100% would have Danielson win the belt in Wembley. His career is saved. That kind of thing. The commentary could go. But then, and I know this is unlikely, but I think the Elite are going to screw over Danielson. And I think what they'll do is they will have the winner of the Casino Gauntlet match, whether it be Hangman Page, whether it be Okada, that kind of thing. I think they're going to bring out the winner of the Casino Gauntlet, immediate title match. I actually think they're going to do like the whole Money in the Bank type thing without being Money in the Bank, just because the Elite's going to be like, oh, this is not what we want. Quickly, bring in our guy to take out Danielson. And Danielson gets beaten down and he loses. And you know what? I think Danielson will lose the belt to the winner of the Casino Gauntlet. And you know what? I actually think that if it's Okada or if it's anyone else who wins it, or if Hangman actually wins it, and I know this is unlikely. I know after Blood and Guts, it was like, it's not going to happen, but I think Hangman Page is rejoining the Elite. I actually can see Hangman Page rejoining the Elite. And I know that is unlikely as hell, but man, at this point, anything's possible, and I could see it happening. And I mean, Hangman winning the belt or Okada holding the belt, and like everyone together in the Elite, and the Elite celebrating, being like, "Yay, we got a belt!" and that kind of thing to end the show. It may not be the best way to end the show like this, but for storyline sense, I think it makes so much sense. Now, will that be able to lead to more stories? Yes, obviously. Like, you could have Danielson go for the rematch of WrestleDream if you really want to. And you can have Hangman and Swerve fight, but not for the belt. I don't think they even need the belt at this point. Their blood feud is so intense. They can really just fight over anything, really. Like, Hangman, like, Swerve can be like, "Oh, you cost me the opportunity to be the champion. That kind of thing." So, yeah, but I do see Danielson winning the match. I do see that happening.
All right. And finally, Dustin, your thoughts on the AEW World Title Match?
So, I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going to be the loner in this one. I've got Swerve Strickland retaining. I think Danielson is retired. I have Swerve Strickland retiring Danielson for the simple fact that he said that later this year he's going to have neck surgery. And he's also said that if he loses, he's fine with retiring. He's cool with this being his send-off. And I've said this on my Instagram story with one line: Swerve, time to put the dragon out to pasture. I think Swerve's going to retain. I do see Hangman Page being the next challenger, and I do see Hangman being the one to beat Swerve at WrestleDream, and that'll piss everyone in Washington off because Swerve's from Washington. So yeah, I think it's best to keep it on Swerve. Danielson, trust me, you're one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. No matter if you win or lose, I'll be happy. I'll be happy for you regardless. But I just personally think it's best to keep it on Swerve than to give it to Danielson for only 3 months. I would much rather Swerve be champion going into WrestleDream, going into his home state, and just having another banger with Hangman Page. So my prediction, and to be completely different than with everyone in here, Swerve Strickland retains. Danielson, it was nice knowing you. Hope you have a safe retirement.
And don't forget, of course, the most important 2 words. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
And for the record, folks, when I say that, I'm not trying to be rude here, you know? I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. And plus, I'm having a fun time. I'm just excited for the fact that this is going to be a fun time. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our predictions. The AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium. This is the first of 4 podcast episodes for the remainder of this season when it comes to summer, because next week we'll be back twice. First episode will be for WWE Bash in Berlin. The next one will be for NXT No Mercy. And then at the second week of September, actually once September kicks in, we are going to be talking AEW's All Out. And that will culminate the summer festivities. And then we'll be back for the fall festivities. And I love the fall because when those leaves colors change, the weather gets a little colder and the pumpkin spice is out because I love pumpkin spice. It's good stuff.
Cool.
But anyways, that's then. This is now. We've got All in London to kick in. I actually find it very convenient that this 4 pay-per-view within a 13-day period starts with All In and ends with All Out. We're all in for this, but by the time it's over, we're all out.
Yep.
That's very appropriate and a great way to end the festivities. I'm just hoping that all 4 of these events are going to be great. Tyler, Dustin, Stape, as always, you guys are amazing. It's good to have you on our podcast.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm always happy to come on whenever. Like, 100%.
Yep. And
Same here.
And Balor, well, you've been with me since literal day one of this podcast.
Yeah, since day one, I've always been here. I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. And before we end the podcast, what's y'all's thoughts on the fact that next year's All In is going to be in Texas at Globe Life Park?
Have a smaller, smaller capacity. But, I'm pretty excited for that. They're coming to America. Well, they're coming. They're on a station in America. But Texas getting their very first pay-per-view, which is pretty cool. Texas gets everything. God damn it. Anyways, it's pretty cool. Good for them. And I think I know a few losers who might be going to that show. Maybe. We'll see. I'll break it down. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for All In Texas. Plus, it's in July, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that definitely is going to allow more space between All In and All Out. However, that does mean, assuming things don't change, the Forbidden Door, if there even is going to be a Forbidden Door. Although, in my opinion, they should cancel Forbidden Door, because at this point, after this year, it really lost its luster.
Yeah, it has.
I agree.
Just kill Glory.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with All In Texas, I know we had the rumors coming out around the same time about AEW potentially doing a pay-per-view in Australia, and I legit thought it was going to be All In Melbourne, but looks like that's not going to be the case. So, I don't know exactly if they'll do a pay-per-view in Australia next year, but you know what? All In Texas. I think that's pretty cool that Texas is getting it. Globe Life looks like a cool stadium, so I'm intrigued to see how they do their first proper US-based stadium show pay-per-view, because I know they have done, like, quote-unquote stadium shows in the US, but this is a proper stadium show pay-per-view for them, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see what they do with that.
Yeah, the thing that he's referring to, of course, is Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is a tennis field. But anyway, unfortunately, All In 2026 is going back to London, so it ain't going to be then for your Australia. But however, doesn't have to be All In. It could be anything. Who knows? Who knows exactly what it could be.
Could be Forbidden Door, could be Full Gear. Hell, we'd be happy to take Revolution.
We all know y'all ain't ever getting Double or Nothing All Out because, well, let's be honest, that's never going to leave Las Vegas and Chicago.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, folks, All Out this year is also once again in Chicago. Well, actually, Hoffman Estates, 40 minutes away from Chicago, at that same crappy now arena that I've been in. It's disgusting. So good luck to anybody
Chicago.
So good luck to anybody going there.
Is it that bad? Dang.
Yeah, it really is. For one thing, here's the thing: a lot of people got stuck at there because their cell phones had like fucking no service, thus they could not call in Ubers.
Ooh. You better hope like the cell phone carriers must have installed some kind of new antennas or something.
Or in the case I was, get your own car. Like, drive your car down there. And even if you find a good parking space, I'm just telling you, that arena itself is dirty, disgusting, and even when I arrived, it's as if they didn't clean it up from the last event, whatever the hell that was. So, that's the thing
I do
don't
not
like
want to
that.
know what the toilets would be like in there.
Thankfully for me, I did not once have to figure it out. But anyway, folks, that's All Out. We'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks. We'll be back next week for Bash in Berlin and NXT No Mercy, so that should be a lot more exciting because that's the first time WWE's doing a premium live event in Germany. But in the meantime, I hope you guys are going to enjoy All in London this upcoming Sunday at Wembley Stadium. If you're going to the show, hope you have the time of your life. And if you're just simply watching on TV, well, still have the time of your life because this is what it's all about. The one thing I like about pro wrestling is, yes, sure, things get toxic on social media, but when people actually show up at the events and everything, all that toxicity are gone because the real fans showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because in real life, the IWC doesn't exist in professional wrestling.
Bingo.
Oops.
Bingo indeed. Speaking of course, Heel Balor, as always, like you've been a great person who's been part of this podcast since literal day one. It's always good having you here. And
That was a pleasure.
I'm pretty sure you know exactly what you have to do next.
Ah, yes. We're the losers, and this is our lounge. We will see y'all next week for more professional wrestling. Cheers, sweet, and peace out.